Welcome back to Lovin Dubai show. We are joined by none other than pro boxer Shannon Courtenay. She rose in the ranks to become the WA World Champion between April and October 2021, and soon she's potentially eyeing a fight in Dubai and Saudi. Welcome to the show, Shannon. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So you have the nickname Babyface Assassin, and I so see it. Like, we were going to ask you, like, how did that come about? But you can just see that.
I never gave myself the name. It got given to me. But I'm getting on a little bit now. So I'm thinking if I want to keep this name, I'm going to have to start having Botox, you know, keeping the young face going. But
Tell us about your first fight.
My debut. Do you know what? People are normally so nervous for their first fight. I just enjoyed it because you're only going to have one debut, aren't you? So I just thought I'm going to enjoy the whole process. And it's the first time my mum ever watched me box because she never come to any of my fights beforehand. So I just enjoyed it and had a good time, really.
Good attitude.
How did you even get into boxing? Like, you have all the norm jobs and stuff, and then you're like, okay, no, I want to be a professional boxer. Why? How?
It just came about by chance. So I wasn't really living the most healthiest lifestyle. I was overweight. I was a big drinker, big smoker. And then I lost a bet, so I had to go to a boxercise class. And then, I know, how bizarre. And then just wound up being quite good at it. And the next thing I know, I was in Finchley where they trained like Anthony Joshua, and he just won the Olympics. And they said, you know, they were quite blunt. They were like, you're overweight, you smoke, you drink, but you've got a natural talent. And then that day I threw the cigarettes in the bin, went running, and I never looked back. And it just changed my whole life from there.
Wow. How that just played out?
I know, crazy.
And what was kind of, so I guess you had your debut, did you win?
Yes.
And where did it go from there in terms of like wins and losses, and you knew that you could kind of make a career of it?
So as an amateur, I was in my head I thought I wanted to just see how I got on at first, and I ended up really loving it, making a name quite early on. Then we was looking at the Olympics, and then around the time of the qualifications for trying to go to the Olympics, I got offered a contract by Eddie Hearn, the biggest promoter in the world, and then I turned pro. And then it just went on from there. And then within 7 fights, I was as a professional world champion.
Wow. That's amazing. And would you say that was your career highlight? Or
So
was it the
far.
small fights on the way?
I think you can't always look at the destination. You've got to enjoy the journey. So the whole time I've enjoyed the whole journey, even the small steps, the smaller fights. But in my head, I know I'm going to be world champ. I'm going to win another world title. So the first one was fun because it's the first time. Next time I'll enjoy it more because I didn't take it all in the first time. So when I win another one, I'll enjoy it more. And the first time I won a world title was during COVID. There was no crowd. There was nobody there. So I'm celebrating like, on my own. So I think next time it'll be more special.
Wait, a boxing match during COVID? How was that even allowed?
So we got put into a bubble. So I had 3 fights during COVID where you get put into a bubble. It was just your team, no audience.
Okay.
Even my corner men were wearing masks the whole time. Yeah, it was quite bizarre.
Is the prep for those types of, was the prep different? Was it more mentally challenging, do you think, or was it the same?
Probably easier because we got given athlete passes so we could travel wherever we wanted. So when you're in camp, it's very lonely. You're on your own the whole time for like 10 weeks and you see your friends out and about having fun. But during COVID, no one was having fun. So I thought, I'm not missing out. I'm just living life in camp, eating, training, sleeping. I wasn't missing out. So it's probably a bit easier, to be honest.
You lucked out, I tell you, on the timing, because the FOMO is so real when you see your friends out there just living their best lives.
I turn my phone off when I'm in camp, so I haven't got to see everyone out having fun whilst I'm stuck in some like dingy hotel. Like, oh.
That sounds quite challenging. Would you say that like being away from family and those sacrifices are the toughest part of your job?
100%. Everyone says, oh, why I do it so strictly where I cut everyone off, family, friends, I don't see no one, and everyone's like, why do you do it so strictly? But I think that's the best way to do it because it's such a hard job, you know, and you're getting punched in the head for a living. So if you're going to do it, you want to do it properly, don't you?
You sound so disciplined, but like it's so much easier said than done. That you said that, you know, you threw away your cigarettes and you stopped drinking and you just, you know, got really like focused. But was it really that easy? Was it just like an overnight decision, like I'm gonna, you know, like just give all this up, or was it like a process for you?
No, bizarrely, it was just an instant thing. It's like I found boxing and I suddenly found a direction. I never had a purpose or direction. I was just going through life and I was so unhappy in myself and I was miserable. And that's probably why I was drinking, because I was miserable. Suddenly I found something that I liked and everything just fell into place. And since then, it just continues to fall into place.
I have no doubt that your story is an inspiration to others for sure. So pro boxing title, world champion. Also, you have a big following on Instagram.
Yeah.
What is like the level of public support like for you?
Back in the UK, it's fantastic. It's kind of hard to go out because I get recognised a lot, you get stopped a lot. So it's nice though, but the support is always amazing, and the people like to see, they like to go underdog, don't they? Because I never had that Olympic background. I've just come out of nowhere. So people like the underdog story. But because it's the backing and everything's amazing in the UK, now I'm out here, I'm trying to kind of crack the Middle East. So it's very different.
You're so pretty, and it's like, how do pretty people go into boxing? It's like,
it's all makeup. It's all makeup.
No, but wouldn't you get afraid of like your hair being pulled and like your face, like being
no, because
totally
my hair
smashed?
gets braided.
Okay.
I've got enough scars now that I'm not worried about one more. So
yeah, I mean, like where like your face getting smashed, like like injuries that made like like just bad severe injuries.
They're just battle wounds, aren't they? I think they're quite fun, to be honest. So when you've got a couple of scars or black eye, you kind of be proud of it because you think, well, I've earned that in a weird way.
Speaking of cracking the Middle East,
yes.
Are you fighting here soon? Will we see you in the ring?
I can't say too much, but soon you'll probably see me fighting in the Middle East, yes.
Dubai?
Or maybe Abu Dhabi, maybe Saudi. Like I said, I can't say too much.
Maybe. So Abu Dhabi, tell us more about that. Who would you be boxing there?
So Abu Dhabi, so my promoter is Eddie Hearn, who is Matchroom. They have a deal with Abu Dhabi to have 2, sometimes 3 fights a year. We're in talks to potentially fight at the end of the year here in Abu Dhabi.
And who would that be against?
I can't say.
A female? A male?
Oh, female, I hope.
Which one?
I can't say.
So we just had Tommy Fury, Logan Paul fighting in Saudi. So it's like influencer versus professionals. What are your thoughts on influencer fighters, and do you expect to see more female influencers getting into the ring?
Yes, the influencer boxing is obviously becoming a massive thing, and it's very easy to hate on it. And as a professional, when you work so hard to get where you are, and then someone who's just come off YouTube straight into the limelight, it can be frustrating. But you've also got to look at it and think, well, these people are opening fresh eyes. It's a new audience on boxing, and it's opening the game. It's bringing more money to the sport. So you've got to look at it in a wider perspective, not just a selfish point of view. So it can only be good for boxing when you think of it long-term wise.
Do you think the pros and cons, I mean, like, you listed both the pros and the cons right now, but do you feel like it takes away from the gravitas of boxing when you see influencers coming into it and doing it for fun and the money and the spotlight?
Yeah, 100%, because you've got grassroots boxing, which is amateur boxing back at home, and you see all these young kids working so hard. Like I did as an amateur, you don't get paid when you're an amateur. You do it just because you want to do it. And then you're going to see these young kids who think, oh, I haven't got to live a healthy lifestyle or train or stay in the gym. I can just be on YouTube and then land the spotlight. It's not that easy, but these influencers make it look like it is that easy, and it's not. And boxing's the hardest, loneliest sport in the world, so don't be fooled thinking that you can just make a video and become an influencer and suddenly you're going to be on the main stage. It's not that easy.
Do you feel like that's the 15 minutes of fame that people talk about on the internet? Like,
100%.
Get in the boxing ring, fight, that's your 15 minutes of fame and you're done.
100%.
Yeah.
People nowadays are craving fame for the wrong reasons, and they want to be famous for the wrong reasons. You know, do it because you want to inspire the youth or get something good out of it, not because you just want to have your face planted everywhere. There's so much more to life than just being in the limelight for the wrong reasons.
That's so true. So well said.
Speaking of influencing fighters, have you been contacted by any? Because we see a lot of male influencers in the ring and going for it, and we had 1 or 2 as part of a big fight here a year ago. Have you been contacted by any influencers, females who want to get into the ring with you?
No.
The Kardashians ever contacted you?
I mean, if Khloe Kardashian wants to go, I'll go. But no, I think they know that what I do is probably a little bit more.
But did they do it? They're doing it for the fame,
yeah, obviously you've got Misfits, which is massive back in the UK, and it's becoming into America as well, which is influencer boxing. An influencer boxer woman wouldn't live in a professional woman's world. It'd be too dangerous. But I mean, if the money's right, I wouldn't say no.
So Misfit, tell us a little bit about that.
That's more, it's influencer boxing basically. You've got like KSI who owns it. He's one of the part owners, so they put on big shows on DAZN, and it's just influencer fighting influencers. It's not professional versus professional, so it's very different.
Okay.
So are you training here in Dubai now? And if so, what's the training scene like here in comparison with where else you've trained?
So all my training camps are still going to be done back home in the UK with my training team, but I train in Box IQ here, boxing gym. So I've got a coach here as well, Joe, who's fantastic. So he keeps me in good shape, still learning every day, still ticking over. So that when I go back into camp properly in the UK, I'm ready to go as well. So it's best of both worlds. I train here and I train in the UK.
And is it different, like in terms of just the difficulty levels and the comfort and accessibility? Where do you prefer training?
It's very different, you know. You wake up in Dubai, you've got a smile on your face because the sun's out, everyone's nice. It's just a nicer way of living, isn't it? But I can be a lot stricter when I'm back at home and I cut everyone off. So it's two different ways of doing it, really.
And how are you managing your time? Because we know that you're jumping into career real estate as well here. Tell us a little bit about that and how you manage to... You're looking at another world champion title.
Yeah.
And jumping into a new career. How are you doing both?
I'm just taking every day as it is. You know, I'm working with eSpace over here, looking at real estate, trying to make the move here myself. My partner lives here, so to be here with him as well, it makes sense for me to be here if I'm not fighting. So to try and keep life at home when I'm boxing and then trying to crack the Middle East as well is hard, but I'm trying to find the right balance.
Mm-hmm.
But what made you choose the Middle East? Like, why you and your partner have decided to like make this a home as well?
So he works here anyway. He's got businesses here, so I travel back and forth to see him. And you don't ever really see women from the UK, especially sports, trying to crack the Middle East.
Yeah.
So why not be the first one?
So true, and this is a place I'm sure you've seen like the boxing and the fighting scene here. It's just been growing year on year.
Yeah.
So no doubt we're going to hopefully see you in the ring before the end of this year.
Maybe.
Shannon, Courtenay, before you leave us, we want to play a quick game with you if that's okay.
Go for it.
It's called What Gives Shannon Courtenay the Ick. If something is icky, you have to press the button, and we're going to find a little bit more about you.
Go for it.
Okay, let's start. Hair pulling during fights.
Ick. Definitely.
Do you have a message for all the hair pullers?
Don't do it.
Poor hygiene.
You don't like a smelly component?
Cleanliness, like that's my biggest thing. I've got severe OCD, so in my opinion, BO should be illegal. Why should people suffer for your unhygienic ways? No, thank you.
But do you refuse a fight if someone's like really smelling?
Well, I've got no choice, have I? And if you're in the ring for 10 rounds, you're going to sweat a little bit, aren't you? So I'll give them a leeway. But in general life, have a wash. You know, it's not that hard.
Deodorants. Okay, overly aggressive behavior.
It's nice to be nice, and it's always good to go around life with a kind heart. Don't be too aggressive because it will come back on you. I believe in karma.
She's not a stereotype boxer, is she?
Everyone expects me to be aggressive because of my job, but no, I'm not.
Trash talking.
No ick. I love a bit of trash talking.
What are some boxing trash talks?
You just try and get in each other's head a little bit so you can make them nervous or try and work them out. As long as you've got a solid core and you're not affected by someone else's words, trash talk's quite good.
If you could trash talk us right now.
Oh, we're not going there. Trust me.
We're not. She has like a lineup of it.
She's like, if we go,
we
we'll
go.
Coming back. Okay, bad sportsmanship.
Yeah. I've been guilty a bit myself. I lost a fight once and I didn't even do the interview after the fight. I just stormed off. I looked like a baby on TV, so put my hands up. But that's because it means so much to someone. If you don't care, then that's a problem as well. But yeah, bad sportsmanship, it's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Strong words. We're going to leave it there. Shannon Courtenay, an inspiration to everyone everywhere. Your journey has been incredible and your story is phenomenal. So thank you so much for coming to Dubai, sharing your story with us, and wish you the best of luck in your fights and also in your real estate career with Espas. That is all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Whoops.